In Williamsport, Pennsylvania, these days before the kids go back to school, the people turn out 30,000 strong to see a ball game. But a ball game with a difference. A ball game starring the kids from around the world in the Little League World Series. Take a look at Su Chin-mu. He is 12 years old from the island of Taiwan. Slender, wiry, with the high kicking motion of a major leaguer. Little League Baseball started here in Williamsport, Pennsylvania quite a long time ago, and here its home remains. Here each year, the 8 teams surviving worldwide playoffs among some 6,000 local leagues assemble for the Little League World Series. Today, only 2 remain from the 1 loss and out eliminations. From the island of Taiwan comes an appealing, well-disciplined group of youngsters representing nationalist China. Taiwan won the World Championship 2 years ago, and this year's team looks even better than the one we saw on that occasion. Against them, you'll see the home team today, Gary, Indiana, an industrial town in the heart of the United States. As you can see from some of our pictures here, the Little League Stadium in Williamsport sits in a natural bowl where a crowd of about 20,000 makes its annual pilgrimage, many of them, as you see, sitting on the hillside. Today's game, by the way, marks the 25th year, silver anniversary of the Little League World Series. Good afternoon. I'm Jim McKay, and with us for the 3rd straight year on the Little League World Series is one of the great players in all of baseball history, Mickey Mantle. Mick, it's good to see you again.
Well, it's good to see you again, Jim.
Well, what's your impression coming here for number 3?
Well, this is my number 3 game here, and I've been looking for a home run. As you know, that was my favorite part of baseball, and I was here last 2 years, and nobody's hit one, and this year we got a boy that's hit 4 in a row, so I'm anxious to see him play.
That's right. Young McClendon has broken all the records, but we'll be talking more about that in a minute. Right now, we're going to have the 2 teams introduce themselves. A little switch. First of all, China. Okay, thank you. Okay, he said his name and position, and I hope you're getting all that. Okay, you're welcome. All right.
Thank you.
Oh, the thank yous are at Wow, those are big. Okay. Okay, now you speak a little English.
Yeah, later.
You are the only one.
Have you ever heard of Mickey Mantle in China?
Oh, your name? China is Meng Tao.
Monko, huh?
Yeah.
You know who he is.
Yeah, he is best ball.
He is best ball player. That's right.
Home
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Okay, that's the team from the island of Taiwan representing nationalist China. Let's go now with the team from Gary, Indiana.
At first base.
Okay. Here we go. Come on, right in here, everybody.
Marcus Hubbard, second base.
Okay, we're going right around the infield.
Ben Jones, shortstop.
Okay, Ben, thank you. Here we go.
Vincent Baseman, third base.
Okay, that's the 3rd baseman.
Larry Reynolds, left field.
Okay,
Damon West, center field.
center fielder, he's a little guy.
Gerald Steele, right field.
Okay, Joe.
Ralph Basemore, catcher.
Okay, Ralph.
Lloyd McKinnon, pitch.
Lloyd, come in here for just a second. You got 4 home runs and 4 times up. I understand that breaks all the records here.
Yeah. I don't know exactly.
He doesn't know what's happening.
Do you think they're going to walk you today?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, maybe you'll get one.
I think I'd walk him if I was the pitcher.
Okay. Good luck to you, Lloyd. All right, those are the starting lineups, and we'll be back in a minute for the 1971 Little League World Series. The sun shines on Williamsport as we're just about ready for the opening pitch of the Little League World Series. This is Jim McKay with Mickey Mantle. Gary, Indiana in the field, and the boys from the island of Taiwan representing nationalist China about to come to bat. Well, this boy McClendon's got a lot on his shoulders today as the leading hitter and also the pitcher, Mickey.
I don't know how his control's going to be. I was watching him warm up just now, and he threw about 4 balls up in the backstop. But I'll tell you one thing. I've been here the last 2 years. This is my 3rd World Series, Little League World Series, and I haven't seen anybody that throws any harder than he does.
Okay, well, here's the first batter, Chen Ming Huang of nationalist China. He is the right fielder. Remember, the bases in Little League Baseball are 60 feet apart rather than 90. There's a strike.
Jim, if he gets the ball over, he's going to be hard to hit because he really throws hard.
The base is 60 feet apart, and the pitcher's mound just 45 feet. Wow. Well, the other day we saw these boys from Taiwan really tee off on the pitcher from Hawaii, but they're not going to be able to do it on this lad, it doesn't look like.
I didn't see the other boy, but if he could throw like this one, they're really good hitters.
And he moved him back a little bit with that one.
He was trying to throw him a curveball then, and it didn't break very good.
The count is a ball and 2 strikes then on the first batter, Chen Ming Huang. And that's it. First out of the ball game. Lloyd McClendon, pitcher for Gary. Now coming to the plate, we have Ye Chuxian, the third baseman of China. Chinese team are little fellas, but where do you see them when they field, Mickey, huh?
I know. I was watching them take infield today, and I've never seen a major league ball club that looked any better.
That's a ball. There's a wide look at this large crowd gathered here today. They really draw for Little League in Williamsport. Better than 20,000. That's a strike on the outside, making it 1-1 with one man already out. Little Ye Chuxian at the plate. Little comebacker, and he's out of there.
Well, he ought to feel good that he even hit the ball, no bigger than he is.
That's right.
And the way that Lloyd throws the ball.
The next, there's a good look at Lloyd McClendon. You can see he's quite a sturdy boy, stocky, not too tall compared to some Little League pitchers we've seen here in the past. He's 5'4". And the next batter is the center fielder, Li Wenzhui. Lee tells us that he's also quite a ping pong player, and of course the nationalist Chinese are just as enthusiastic about table tennis apparently as those on the mainland who have gotten more publicity for that sport in the recent months. That's a ball and a strike now with 2 away to Li Wenzhui. Ooh.
Well, that was really a good pitch. That was a slider right. It looked like it was going to be on the outside corner and just broke away from the plate.
Ball and 2 strikes now. 2 away. Down too low. There's a look at the dugout. This boy's such a long way from home. By the way, a live television broadcast is going back to Taiwan right now. That's a base hit. Li Wenzhui with the first hit of the ball game, a sharp single to right field. Man on first with 2 out, and that brings the nationalist Chinese flags high in the air.
Jim,
Go ahead.
That might give the other boys a little bit more confidence because them first 2 hitters looked like they were really overmatched, and he hit that ball pretty good.
Well, this is the opposing pitcher at the plate now, and there's a wild pitch. The runner down to second. So, Li Wenzhui is down to second base in position to score on a single, perhaps. The batter at the plate is the other pitcher, Xu Qinmu, batting cleanup for his team. Another wild pitch. The runner's coming to the plate, but he decides to go back, and they may have him hung up. They've got him. And there's the tag. He's out at the plate. Li Wenzhui tagged out by pitcher Lloyd McClendon. There's the slow motion on that, Mickey.
Yeah, I think he got mad at his coach there. He thought he could make it all the way in.
Pretty good tag?
He didn't have any chance to get to the plate. I think he caught the last game when he hit those Lloyd McClendon. When he hit his home runs, he was a catcher, and he covered the plate then just like a catcher does.
Okay, well, the score at the end of a half inning of play is Nationalist China 0 and Gary, Indiana coming to bat. The first batter in the bottom of the first inning for Gary, Indiana is Vincent Basemore, the little third baseman. No score in the ball game. And it's the ball, 1-0.
Jim, this pitcher's got a motion and everything almost like Juan Marichal, the way you see how high he kicks his left leg. It gives them a lot of deception on the mound if he throws a changeup or a breaking ball.
Well, there comes that motion. Yeah.
He throws the ball pretty hard, too.
Ball and a strike to Vincent Basemore. Vincent didn't like that. He thought he held up on that swing, you know. Gave the ump a look.
I think it was a strike anyway.
Yeah. Concentration. Utter concentration. It's a ball. 2-1. Here's that motion, Mickey.
Yeah, see how high he kicks that left leg? Almost over his head. He looks a lot like Marichal. He gets everything he's got into it. He throws the ball pretty hard, too.
Now back to the action again. Count 2 balls and a strike to Basemore. Oh, a bad hop. A bad hop single to right field.
That really was, Jim. He couldn't help that. Yeah.
Here it is again.
He hit the ball on to the right-hand side. See that? There's a hump right in front of the baseline there. You can't see it on the television, but there's a little, like a little gully right there, and it hit right on the upslope. Went bounced right over his head.
Well, it is in fact scored as a base hit. It obviously was. No error there. And there's a runner at first with nobody out, and Ralph Basemore, the brother of the previous hitter, is up. This is the little catcher for Gary, Indiana. And the ball. See how much that unsettles Xu Chinmu, the pitcher for China. Ball, but he held on to it.
This is a great play by the catcher there. I can't figure out, you see, they just showed a shot of the first baseman holding the runner on.
Yeah.
They don't have to hold the runner on, so I can't see why they don't play back a little bit deeper than that. I was noticing that before in another game we was watching here. The first baseman and third baseman always play real short.
Of course, the reason Mickey said they don't have to hold the runner on is because the runner must keep his foot on the base until the ball has been delivered. You can't start to steal before that, and you can't take a lead. The count now, 2 balls and a strike to the second hitter for Gary, Indiana. Runner on first is his brother, and Ralph Basemore's at the plate. Right, 2-2. Interesting sidelight is that there isn't a boy of Caucasian origin on either team. The boys from Taiwan are all Chinese. The boys from Gary, Indiana are all black. And that's a full count.
Boy, that was a very good pitch. That's a hard pitch for that batter to lay off of. It looked like it was almost right on the corner. I guess it was a little bit outside, but it was still a great pitch.
So the Basemore brothers are really the story for Gary right now. One of them on first base, the other one at the plate. That's ball 4. You saw it. You saw that one yourself. No question about it. A base on balls to Ralph Basemore. The runners on first and second, nobody out in the bottom of the first, and no score in the Little League World Series. The batter, Lloyd McClendon, a young man who has broken all the records here. He has been at bat officially 4 times in the Little League World Series this week, and he has hit 4 home runs. Nobody's ever done that before. The previous record for an entire Little League World Series was 3 home runs. He's hit 2 in each of 2 games. Think they're going to give him anything?
I don't know. I saw them all look at the dugout at the manager, and I think they decided not to give him anything too.
Oop, they pitched to him, and there it goes. 5 home runs in 5 tries at bat for Lloyd McClendon. Wow. "12-year-old Lloyd McClendon, one of 10 children from Gary, Indiana. 5 feet 5, he weighs 138 pounds, but he puts every ounce of it behind that baseball. 3 runs in for Gary, Indiana. We'd like to welcome a new station to our lineup on Wide World of Sports, WHDN-TV in Dothan, Alabama. Nice to have you all with us. Okay, the batter now is Marcus Hubbard, the second baseman. There's nobody out, and 3 runs in. Okay, no problem there for Su Chin-Mu, the pitcher from Taiwan, and throwing it over to first and retiring his first batter of the ball game. Well, there's one out.
They all met over at third base and had a vote of confidence and turned around to the rest of the players and give them the sign, you know, that everything's all right. We're going to win anyway.
They're a very poised group of youngsters. Okay, there's the outfield fence. By the way, it is 200 feet at every point on the outfield fence. It's a curved wall, as you can see. But when McLennan hit that home run, he hit it way over. It must have been about 225, 230 feet anyway.
No, it didn't just barely get over. It went way over.
1 ball, no strikes, with 1 away to the batter, Ben Jones, the shortstop of Gary. Ben's been in the Little League for 4 years, in the 6th grade of grammar school. Has 6 brothers and 2 sisters. Many of these Gary boys from large families in that industrial city. There, another look at Su Chin-Mu, the pitcher. 1-1, 1 away, nobody on, 3 runs in for Gary. 3-0 is the score in the baseball game in the first inning. 1-2.
Jim, did you ever notice how closely they're all the same size on the Chinese?
They really are, aren't they? Yeah, and not particularly big, even for their size, for their age. Look at the batter's stance. And that's it. Strikeout for Su Chin-Mu. Ben Jones striking out for the second out in the first inning. 2 away, nobody on, and Gerald Steele coming to the plate. Gerald Steele, a left-handed hitter, 7th grader, plays quarterback in football. Gee, he'll have to change sports pretty quick when he gets home. And that's a strike. No balls and 1 strike. Pretty good poise on the part of this Chinese youngster after being tagged for that 3-run homer.
It really is. I was just sitting here thinking that's going to be a long old trip home if he loses this game.
That's right. A long way to go in the ball game. It's still the bottom of the first inning, so we'll wait and see.
I remember when we used to lose World Series games, our own, when we'd lose a World Series, and this is professional. Here in the States, it'd only take 2.5 hours to get home, but it would seem like a week.
Boy, I'll bet. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. The batter, Gerald Steele. That's it. 2 strikeouts, ending the inning. There were 3 runs on 2 hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. At the end of 1 full inning of play, Gary 3, Nationalist China nothing. Here we are in the top of the 3rd inning. The batter, Lin Huin Chong.
Ooh, I thought he was hit.
He's the first baseman, one of the taller boys in the team at 5 feet 5 inches. The bottom 3rd of the order coming up here, they had 1 base runner, but that base runner was hung up between 3rd and home on a wild pitch, remember, in the first inning. And that's 1-1. Lin Huin Chong is the batter. And that's 2-1. They're going to have to hope, aren't they, Mickey, for a little bit of wildness on the part of McLennan to get something going.
I think if I was their manager, I would, when I got ahead of the pitcher like this, I'd have the take sign on. But other than that, I think I would start bunting everybody because they're not going to be able to swing away and get 3 runs.
Okay, well, they've got a 3-1 count now on the first batter in the top of the 3rd. The Little League World Series is contested at 6 innings. Remember, it's not a 9-inning game. It is 6 innings, unless, of course, it's tie, in which case they go into overtime.
It looks like that Gary is looking for the bunt all the way, too. They've got the 3rd baseman and the 1st baseman way in on the grass.
They really do. 3-1. Now there's a base runner for China. The walk to Lin Huin Chong with nobody out stirs interest immediately. The batter now will be Tu Chung Nan, the catcher. He is really small, 4 feet 9 inches tall.
I'm sure that they've probably talked to the pitcher. About the only way that he can really get in trouble here is to walk the bases loaded or something. And
there's the bunt. They have him at first, but easily moving the runner to second base. So the sacrifice works. A run goes into scoring position. One away, and the batter will be the 9th man in the batting order, Li Chuiming, the second baseman. You'd like to see him try to lay one down too, huh, Mickey?
Well, I'm not rooting for either team, but
no, I mean,
I don't think they're going to be able to swing away and hit him.
Well, that was a strike. No balls and a strike with 1 out and a runner on second. The Far Eastern representatives from Taiwan trailing by 3-0. What do you give him that time?
That was he took a little bit off of a fastball and cut it a little bit. I guess you'd have to call it a slider.
Mm-hmm. It got the job done. No balls, 2 strikes, and he's out of there.
Same pitch again.
So there's 2 away, a runner on second now, and we move to the top of the order to Chen Ming Wong, the right fielder who struck out in the first inning. 2 out, runner on second base now. There's the wild pitch. The runner headed for third, and he's in there easily. Sliding, he didn't really have to. In fact, the third base coach tried to hold him up, but it was a little late. Even though there's 2 out, the Gary team is way in there anticipating that possible bunt. There goes the ball through. Runner headed for home, and he's safe. He's safe. First run of the day for China. Slow motion, Mickey.
Right in front of the base.
Blocked as well as he could, but the Chinese boy got that foot right in there.
He got in. He was safe.
We'll see how Floyd McClendon keeps his cool under a little bit of pressure now on the mound. There he is, with a 3-1 lead now, thanks to his own 3-run homer in the first inning.
You almost got to have him taking this pitch.
Whoa! That's what they must have figured, and they fed him one. A sharp, good single to center field by Chen Ming Wong.
Good. If he'd hit that ball up there, it'd have been a home run.
And the television audience at 2 o'clock in the morning back on the island of Taiwan is awake right now, you can be sure of that. The batter, Ye Chuxian, the third baseman, who hit one back to the pitcher in his previous time at bat. That's a ball, and it goes through, and the runner goes to second. So,
well, if they score that run, it'll be a close ball game. I'm telling you, he just throws the ball so hard that the catcher, if it's not right to him, he doesn't have time to get his glove up.
There is the little catcher for Gary, and he's just a little fella, Ralph Basemore. It's a ball. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 out and a runner on second now. 1 run already in. Batter Ye Chuxian. That's a ball.
Jim, there is really a lot of pressure on these little guys. When you get a close-up of this hitter and he's hitting, just look at the determination on his face.
Okay, there he is. The little third baseman for China. Count 3 balls and no strikes, and he's gotten the word from the dugout.
Looks like a little baby.
Doesn't he, though? And, of course, he was taking that all away, and it's a strike, 3-1. Now we'll see what they have him do. And he just bluffed the bunt and threw the walk. Runners on first and second then with 2 away, and the third man in the batting order coming up. That's Li Wenzhui, the center fielder, who hit a sharp single to right field in his previous time up. So, McClendon in trouble. Okay, that was a strike. 0-1 now. 2 men out, 2 men on. The Far East, or Taiwan, Nationalist China, trailing by 3-1. We're in the top of the 3rd inning of a 6-inning scheduled ball game. And that was inside, 1-1. Here's the little runner at first. He did his job, drew the walk. This is the fellow who's got to get the hit, however. Having had one already in the game. And there's McClendon. Strike two. Ball and 2 strikes now.
That was a bad pitch, but it was a good pitch to hit, and he took a good swing at it. If he'd have hit it, that might have been out of here.
Big pitch. Whoa, it was wide, and he swung at it. And he's out of there. So, in the 3rd inning, there was 1 run for Nationalist China on 1 hit. And 2 men were left on base. The score at the end of 2.5 innings, Gary, Indiana, 3, and Taiwan, 1. The top of the order in the bottom of the 3rd inning for Gary, Indiana, will face Su Chin Mu. And here is the first batter, little 3rd baseman, Vincent Basemore, fouling off the first pitch. He singled in the 1st inning and later scored on McClendon's home run. Now, Lloyd McClendon is the 3rd hitter coming up in this inning, so we'll get another look at that youngster who hit the homer. Gary, Indiana, leading by 3-1.
Jim, do you think that this pitcher would like to have that high curveball back?
Boy, I'll bet he would. That's been the only difference in the ball game so far. The curveball he hung to McClendon for a 3-run homer.
Look at that control.
No balls and 2 strikes to Vincent Basemore. 1 ball and 2 strikes, I should say, obviously.
That was really a good shot there. You could see the catcher put the ball right on the outside corner, and he didn't hardly have to move his glove. The ball was right there.
Basemore, the 3rd baseman, says that his idol is Brooks Robinson. Well, if you're a 3rd baseman, who else, huh? Oh, what was he doing there? But let's make sure of the call there. He called that a ball. Yep. 2 and 2. He likes to talk to the umpire, that little Basemore.
I'm telling you, those 2 pitches were pretty hard to lay. I don't know how he could lay off of both of them. I can see him taking one of them, but both of them looked like they're right on the corner.
2 and 2. Well, that's full count now. Vincent's brother, Ralph, will be up next, the catcher for Gary. They were both base runners and both scored in the 1st inning of play. We're now again in the bottom of the 3rd. Gary leading by 3-1. And he finally draws the walk. So there's a runner with nobody out for Gary in the bottom of the 3rd, and that could be bad news for China. Because coming up in a minute here is going to be McClendon. Right now it's Ralph Basemore, the catcher, his job to get on base with brother. That's a strike. One of the Basemore boys at bat and the other on first base. Fouled back. Yes, sir. No question about that one. He's out of there, so with 1 out and a man on first, up comes Lloyd McClendon. And listen to the cheer for him.
They're going to put him on.
This time they're going to walk him. And as such actions have from time immemorial, it draws boos from the crowd.
Well, I kind of hated to see that myself. I was wanting to see if he could hit his fastball.
Well, we won't see this time as he's given the intentional walk. There are 2 men on and 1 out. And that is one way to get by Lloyd McClendon. Okay, we're ready to go with 1 out and runners on first and second. The batter, Marcus Hubbard. And Gary, Indiana, leading Nationalist China 3-1 in the bottom of the third inning, a scheduled 6-inning Little League World Series final. Nice, warm, summer day. Fine baseball weather. Right. There's McClendon on first.
He finally got one on the outside corner for a strike.
Yes, he did. Little Basemore, the other runner at second base. 1-1 the count. And it's 1-2. There's the signal. And the pitch. Ball. 2-2. Throw down to first. McClendon saunters back.
He's out. Oh!
And that quick throw down to second almost did get him, didn't it?
I thought he was out.
Basemore had a close call, and he knows it. You have to stay alert out there, the way these Chinese kids can field and throw the ball around.
They're
2
very
and 2.
quick.
Strike 3. So now there are 2 away. And there is a look at the high hilarity in the grandstands here. Nationalist Chinese flags everywhere. Here we are with Ben Jones at the plate, strike 1. And now Su Chin Mu has struck out 7 men in less than 3 innings. The only false move he said, as Mickey Mantle indicated, was hanging a curveball to Lloyd McClendon in the first inning for a 3-run homer. Look at that, he's getting sharper all the time. Still runners on first and second, remember. With 2 out, bottom of the third. No balls, 2 strikes, and that's it. He struck out the side again. 8 strikeouts in 3 innings for Su Chin Mu of Nationalist China. So there were no runs, no hits, no errors, but 2 men left on base. The score at the end of 3 full innings of play is Gary, Indiana 3, the island of Taiwan 1. Lloyd McClendon in 3 innings of pitching has given up 1 run and 2 hits. He has struck out 5 men. We now move to the top of the 4th inning, where the first batter will be Su Chin Mu, the pitcher. Pitcher against pitcher, and that's in there. Boy, he's sure doing his part. Here comes the throw to second base, and it's way over, backed up by the pitcher, McClendon. A double to left field for Su Chin Mu, the Chinese pitcher. The flag's waved.
He hits this ball real good, Jim. It's a high inside pitch.
Boy, he tagged
he hit it good.
Okay, now we're back to the action. The next batter is up. It is Wu Shu Shin, who went to left field the last inning. He's a substitute.
Jim, how would you like to sign those 2 pitchers up on, as their agent right now?
Boy, it wouldn't be too bad an idea, would it? You know, there's only been 1 ball player in history, actually, who has played in the Little League World Series and in the real World Series, and that is Boog Powell of the Baltimore Orioles. However, this could sure be one, couldn't it?
Yeah, I think we'll probably hear a little bit about the pitcher now.
On a 2-2 count, the ground ball to shortstop is thrown past. The runner from second is now down to third, but holds up as the throw comes to home. So that'll be an error on the Gary shortstop, Ben Jones.
They're arguing that the runner on first was out.
Now the runner going down to second base. There's your slow motion. And there's the throw to first.
I think
Getting on fast.
Now watch him fall on the ball here. They're arguing that he should be out because he fell on the ball. And while they were arguing, the runner that was on first base run to second, so we got men on second and third now.
Yeah, apparently time was not called while they were arguing.
They're calling timeout now.
And Wu Shu Shin, the new base runner, ran down to second base. Now we're going to have a bit of a conference with the umpires. Jesse Lawson, the manager of Gary coming out. There he is, talking to the first base umpire, Fred Miller.
Nobody ever called timeout. They just started arguing, and the guy run to second.
And like a million managers before him, he got the word, "You're wrong." Okay, there's nobody out now. Runners on second and third, and China trailing by 2 runs. There is a strike to the next batter, Wu Cheng-wen, who struck out in the second inning. It's amazing how the sport of baseball can turn. In
really
the first
is.
inning, after McLennan hit that 3-run homer, it looked like there was no way China could ever catch up.
I thought that would be the game after I saw McLennan pitching. I didn't think that they could ever score off of him.
Now it's no balls and 2 strikes, so China has the potential, but they still have to get those men in. The runners from second and third if they're going to tie up the ball game. On third, Su Chin Mu, the pitcher. That was just a little foul at his feet.
Foul ball, I think.
Yeah, it's just right at his feet. No balls, 2 strikes, but still nobody out. Remember that. McLennan's going to have to watch his control very carefully here.
That's right. I imagine the little catcher is pretty nervous right now because he's had about 4 or 5 pass balls. He's got 2 men in scoring position right now.
That's right. Well, he's got 1 man out of there. So the runners remain at second and third, 1 away. And coming to the plate will be Lin Wen Chung, the first baseman, who walked in the 3rd inning and later scored.
Jim, you know what surprises me in the Little League? Almost everybody, when I go around anywhere, asks me about switch hitting. And it's real easy to be a switch hitter when you're this age, but we don't have any switch hitters, I don't think.
No, which was kind of surprising to me. Well, that's a ball. Excuse me, the call was a strike.
Strike?
I think I called that one myself. At least the scoreboard has strike. I thought it was a ball.
Well, I can't believe it's a strike.
I didn't see the umpire's arm go up either. However, they still hold it as a strike on the
scoreboard. No matter what they call it, you was right, Jim.
Well, there, no question about that.
Well, I think that other one was a ball.
I know, the scoreboard is still showing no balls and 2 strikes. We have an idea it may be 1-1. The base runners, of course, referring to the scoreboard, so they think it's 0-2. Now they're going to change it. No, they aren't either. No, it was in fact 0-2. Apparently he's out of there. Or is he just stepping out? No, he's still going to bat. Okay, now the scoreboard clicks around a few times and finally comes back. There it is.
That's right.
1 ball and 2 strikes. I thought I could call a pitch a little better than that. 1 away, runners on second and third. Now he's out of there. Looks like McLennan may get out of it, and this could be the big opportunity going a glimmering for China.
Yeah, he just rearing back and throwing as hard as he can now.
Now the batter will be the Taiwanese catcher, Tu Chung-nan, who laid down a sacrifice.
There's the wild
pitch. Here comes the runner to home, and a run's in. And a wild throw into the infield. The other runner coming to the plate, and here he is. He's safe. The score is tied.
Look at the next hitter, Jim.
And boy, are they happy. Take a look at slow motion.
This is what we're afraid of. It's a wild pitch, and when he throws the ball back, he throws it past the pitcher, and the shortstop wasn't covering behind him, and he had to come in. And he was safe.
That's right.
I wish they could get this little number 7. Watch him now if you can see him here.
Look at that.
He is really happy.
And the next batter pounding his bat into the dust in Chinese enthusiasm. The score all tied at 3-3. The Little League World Series is going to be very interesting from here on. It's a ball. Now, you see, when McLennan came up in the first inning, they almost had to pitch to him because there were 2 men on and nobody out. The next time he came up, they walked him on purpose, and it could be that'll be the pattern from now on. Right side. And they didn't make it. That'll go as an error by Marcus Hubbard, the second baseman of Gary.
Second baseman gets a little off balance here. See, he went down to catch the ball and he got off balance. He never did regain his composure.
The runner, however, held at first base. He did not go down to second on that. And now at the plate, we'll have Li Ming, the second baseman, who struck out in his only previous appearance. The score tied at 3-3 in the top of the fourth inning of the final game of the Little League World Series in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. 0-1.
There's going to be a little pressure on both teams now, Jim. This is the first time that they've had that Gary's had any pressure on them during the game, and now it's on both teams now.
It sure is. And that's a ball. 1-1. There are 2 men out, but there is a base runner. The leading run on first base now for the team representing Nationalist China, who even now can probably hardly believe their good fortune at getting those 2 runs in on the wild pitch.
That just about evens up the breaks, though, because when they got the 3 runs in the first inning, it was after a ball that could have been called a strike and a bad hop.
Okay, well, another one got by the catcher, Ralph Basemore. Runner going to second, and he's in scoring position now with the count at 2-2 and 2 away. Again, that's called a pass ball. A tough afternoon for Ralph Basemore. He's just a little guy trying to handle the pitches.
Well, I have to differ with him on that one, though. That would have been a good play if he had stopped that.
There's a split screen, pitcher-catcher. And that was strike 3. He's out of there. So finally, they get them out, and there were 2 runs in that inning on 1 hit for China. The score at the end of 3.5 innings of play, the island of Taiwan 3 and Gary, Indiana 3. It's all tied up. Before the ball game, Mickey and I were down on the field, and he prepared a couple of tips for you youngsters. First, here's one on fielding.
I think the most important thing in fielding is to keep the ball in front of you with your hands in this position. If you get like this and you get stiff, you're apt to hit the ball and knock it down and knock it out of your glove. And this way, even if you miss it, it'll come up, and sometimes you can catch it and still throw them out. And in the outfield especially, when you're throwing a ball in, be sure and hold it with the seams if you have time, and throw it directly overhanded. If you throw from the side, the ball will tail off and it doesn't get near as much distance. So anytime you have time in any position, always get the ball with the seams and throw it straight overhanded. And be sure when you drop a ball in the outfield or the infield, you don't pick it up with your glove hand. You pick it up with your bare hand, and you're moving toward the base you're going to throw it to, and try to throw it overhanded with good stuff on it.
There you have it. If he doesn't know, who does? There you have it then, a fielding tip from a man who should know, Mickey Mantle, as he taped it for you earlier. Again, we're back at Williamsport. Jim McKay here with former New York Yankee great Mickey Mantle. Now, the bottom of the 4th and the entire 5th inning went by without any further scoring. So we're now moving to the top of the 6th, which is the last scheduled inning in Little League Baseball. You're only supposed to play 6 innings. It's all tied up at 3-3.
Well, Jim, it looks to me like the thing that could really be a big turning point in this game would be a pass ball somewhere along the line. I mean, as far as McClendon is concerned, he's pitched great ball, and those 2 runs scored on those pass balls, and it looks like that could be a big factor in this game.
3-3, and China coming to bat in the top of the 6th. The crowd has now been announced as 32,000 people. It's got to break all the records here. And that's a strike to Su Chin Mu, Chinese pitcher.
More people than they had in Yankee Stadium the last time I was up there, Jim.
Boy, I'm afraid that's right, huh? Foul back.
Boy, he
2
takes
strikes.
a good cut at the ball.
Mickey, you mentioned the Yankees. There's some talk of your beloved ball club leaving the city of New York. What would
Yeah,
that
I
do to you?
know. I hate to see that. That Yankee Stadium's got a lot of memories for me, and I hate to see him leave it.
Well, I bet. He's out. Su Chin Mu strikes out in the top of the 6th inning. There's 1 away. Bringing to the plate Wu Shu Shin. He's a substitute who came in the 3rd inning, left fielder. He's been up once. He got on base through an error on the part of the shortstop and later scored the tying run. Wu Shu Shin. And that was in our booth. fielded nicely by a member of the staff.
I never seen a baseball I'd give that much for.
He really... I'll tell you something, this fella really cuts at that ball. He hit a hard grounder to short, remember, when he's up before?
He did.
He goes after him. 0-2, no balls, 2 strikes, 1 out in the top of the 6th inning, which may or may not be the last inning here.
Ooh.
There is our booth, in fact, Mickey. We're the guys in the white shirts waving. Strike 3. Caught the outside with it. So there's 2 away. Nobody on. He has struck out both batters so far in the 6th inning, has McClendon. Bringing to the plate Wu Chingwen, who has struck out in both previous trips to the plate. He's the shortstop. The way things look right now, this could go on for a while, this ball game. Strike. Both pitchers seemingly getting stronger and stronger. A pop-up towards the right side. First baseman calling for it, and Henderson has it. So, China's out of there at the end of 5.5 innings of play. It's all tied up at 3-3, and Gary gets their last licks in a minute. Coming to the bottom of the 6th, scheduled to be the final inning, and Gary, Indiana, will have at the plate its 4th, 5th, and 6th hitters. Hubbard was at the plate. There are the banners in Chinese. There's one with the Canadian flag. These obviously are people of Taiwanese or Chinese extraction from Canada who have come down here.
Got a little bit of everything here.
And some of the crowd announced last inning as 32,000 people gathered on the hillsides and the grandstands of Williamsport. Marcus Hubbard at the plate, bottom of the 6th. He's the leadoff hitter.
He wants to be sure and not walk the leadoff man here. That's the main thing.
Okay, the count, of course, reverting to nothing. Foul ball down the right side. Fairly long one.
1 run now, and it's all over. They don't get another shot at it.
That's right. And they had him swinging on the first pitch. No balls, 1 strike to Hubbard. He's grounded out to the pitcher and struck out. Yep. That annoyed him a little bit. He tried to hold up.
That's a good break for the pitcher. That's a bad pitch.
Yep. Yeah, he was just trying to hold up, and the pitch hit the bat. 0-2 now to Marcus Hubbard. That's it. 1 away. That's the 13th strikeout for Su Chin Mu of China.
He has really pitched himself some game. He has nothing to be ashamed of. If they lose this game now, he can forget about that first inning, because he's proven that he's one of the best pitchers I've ever seen at his age.
There he is, pitching to Ben Jones, the shortstop. Strike 1. Ooh, he's tough.
He doesn't look that strong, does he, Jim?
Oh, he doesn't look that big or burly, but he really can fire the ball.
He must really have some kind of coordination.
Must be that Marichal motion that really gets him moving, huh? No balls, 1 strike, 1 out, nobody on. Bottom of the 6th. Strike 2.
Watch the delivery now. He's got that, he kicks that foot real high.
As you said, like Marichal, huh?
Way up there, see?
Yep.
Perfect. Look at that.
Su Chin Mu gave up a 3-run homer in the first inning, remember, and boy, he's been tough ever since. That's it. Another man's out of there. The 14th strikeout. Should they go into extra innings, it'll only be the 3rd time in 25 Little League World Series that the final game has gone into extra innings. 2 away, nobody on, and Gerald Steele coming up. He has struck out twice previously. 14 strikeouts, remember, for this Chinese pitcher, Chu Chin Mu. And the chant of "We Want to Hit" from the Gary, Indiana folk and their supporters.
That's 14 out of 17 outs have been strikeouts.
That's right.
That's hard to believe.
And that's a strike, 1-1.
He doesn't seem to be easing up any either.
Nope.
We'll all be out here all night.
That's right. One of the other outs, a man was thrown out stealing, too. That's strike 2. Oh boy, 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 away, nobody on. It sure looks like extra innings at this point. The batter, Gerald Steele, unless he's got some magic in that bat of his right now. Strike 3, he's out of there. 15 strikeouts, and we go to extra innings. The score at the end of the scheduled 6 innings of play, China 3 and Gary, Indiana 3. On we go. We move into extra innings in the Little League World Series. On the mound still Lloyd McClendon. The score is 3-3 as China comes to bat. And at the plate now, we have number 4, Lee Chun-chung, a pinch hitter.
Ooh, that's
Pinching
a good
for
pitch.
In-Win Chung.
This would be a good time to drag bunt if he could. Just drag it between the pitcher and the first baseman. The second baseman's real deep.
This is the first left-handed batter China has showed us, by the way. Be interesting to see what he can do against McClendon. It's a ball and 2 strikes right now. All of their starting lineup were right-handed hitters. Well, he hits to the opposite field, but he's out of there. It's being brought down by Larry Reynolds, the left fielder. So there's 1 away in the top of the 7th inning, which is extra innings in the Little League. This is only the 3rd time, we'd repeat, in the history of the Little League World Series, a quarter of a century, that the final game has gone to extra innings. Coming to the plate now, number 7 is Chu Chung-nan, the catcher. He has hit a sacrifice bunt once, then reached base by an error by the second baseman. There's a strike. 0-1, 1 away, nobody on. Out. No balls and 2 strikes. Well, you know, if Gary should go out in order in this inning, McClendon isn't going to get up until the last man 2 innings from now. And then they're probably going to walk him, so. Meanwhile, he continues to pitch and throws a strike to retire the batter. Make it 2 away, nobody on.
He's got a few strikeouts, too.
Just counting them up right now.
I'll tell you, Gary's got a pretty good rooting audience over here. They're up and yelling and screaming just as much as the Chinese people are.
11 strikeouts now for McClendon. The opposing pitcher has 14. This is Lee Chui-ming at the plate, fouling one off. You get a foul ball in this game, it's kind of an achievement.
Yeah, if you happen to ground out or pop up, that's really something.
Yeah, that's right.
That'd be something to look back on the Little League World Series and say, how's that guy that grounded out?
That's right. Well, here's a guy who's probably going to ground out. Third to first. Basemore over to Henderson. And back quickly, China's out of there, and we're going to go to the bottom of the 7th inning with the score tied at 3-3. Well, it looks like we may be in Williamsport all weekend because we have now moved not only to the 8th inning, but that's over now. We're going to move to the 9th. There was no scoring in the 8th. It's still 3-3 going to the top of the 3rd extra inning here.
Well, it looks like we may be here for a long time. Both men are just going along as good as they can go right now. They both of them gotten a little bit of trouble, and we may be getting close to the end.
Yeah, that's right. In the 8th inning, there were a couple of base runners, but here comes inning number 9. It's 3-3. The batter salutes the umpire, as is the habit of the Chinese boys. This is Wu Shuxin, who entered the game in the 3rd inning as a substitute. And it's a strike to him. In his trip to the plate so far, he reached on an error and struck out. Let's take a look and see if there's any hitch in this delivery.
I was watching him. I don't think it's certain.
Back to the action because there's a base hit. A sharp single to left field by Wu Shu Shin leads off the 9th inning.
Jim, I was watching Doug out here after that last inning, and the coach got all the boys over there together and told them to choke up on the bat a little bit more and just try to punch the ball.
Well, he sure punched that one hard over third base. Third baseman's head for a base hit. McClendon now on the mound. And standing in is Wu Ching Wen, who has struck out twice and popped up to first base. And there's McClendon, whose foot may be hurting him, or his ankle. Can't be sure. And there goes the runner down to second base, and he's headed for third. There comes the throw. It's kicked around a little bit, but he hangs on. A potential winning run has reached third for China. So now it's big trouble for Lloyd McClendon and the Gary, Indiana team. There is nobody out in the third extra inning, the top of the 9th, that is. And there's a runner on third. McClendon was placing his left fielder just where he wanted him.
Now they're trying to pull they feel like that if they get this run here that they're in trouble, so they're pulling the outfield in and giving them a long fly ball, just trying to catch a line drive.
Wu Ching Wen, the batter, takes a strike. 1-1 now, a ball and a strike. There's the situation in a nutshell. The third baseman drawn in, the runner on third, the coach watching tensely, and the batter squaring off for a bunt. Here it is, the runner's holding at third, and he's safe at first. McClendon couldn't make a play. He got hung up off balance there a little bit, Mickey.
Well, I said that earlier in the game, I think I'd bunt a lot against these guys because they can't hit, they're not hitting him that well.
Well, now there are runners on first and third and nobody out. Do you put a man on to load up those bases or not?
No, I don't think so. I think that what they got to really watch out for is those pass balls. I don't think they can hit him that hard, but I'd just watch out for those pass balls all I could. Look how much bigger McClendon is than the catcher.
Well, can you imagine how tired that little fella is, that catcher?
Oh, he's had a rough day.
He's been playing almost 2.5 hours here, and he weighs...
got a lot of respect for him.
He weighed 66 pounds when he started. He must weigh about 12 now.
It's only 45 feet, and Lloyd McClendon gets the ball there as fast as anybody can, I think.
Well, here's the only left-handed batter we've seen for China today. He came in as a pinch hitter in the 7th inning. Lee Chun-chung. Ground ball into right field. The run scored. Hit sharply into right field by Lee Chun-chung, little substitute. They're calling it a base hit.
Well, that's the danger of playing short at first base with a left-handed hitter up there, and he hit a ball pretty good.
China, after falling behind 3-0 in the first inning, at long last has battled back to take the lead. Here is the key play.
Yeah, he's in very short. See how short the first baseman was playing him in there?
That's right. And there's the run scorer. And there's still nobody out, and men on first and second. The batter at the plate now is Fu Chung Nan. He's the catcher. What a game he has played for China. Here's a ball. Now Lloyd McClendon, who has to be tired despite his sturdy physical characteristics, has to try to settle down, keep his cool, and get him out and hope his teammates can get that run back.
Well, he's pitched a great game himself. He has nothing to be ashamed of if he loses this game.
There it goes to the screen again.
That's what I was afraid of, those pass balls. I would say that's been the turning point of the game today, wouldn't you, Jim?
Oh, it certainly has, no question. Back in the third inning, there were 2 men out and I believe 2 strikes on the batter when the wild pitch brought in 2 runs to tie up the ball game, and now we see the same thing, bringing disaster to Gary, Indiana. There's nobody out, men on second and third, 2 balls and no strikes to the batter. Now, strike. However, McClendon still has plenty of reason to try to bear down if he could possibly get out of this now. It's still only 1 run damage at this point. 3-1 now.
It's a shame these games can't end up in a tie because these kids really, every one of them are wanting to win so badly, and that's the only thing against Little League. It almost breaks a kid's heart to lose a game.
Base on balls, loads up the bases with nobody out, and will bring up the last man in the hitting order, Li Chui-ming. There's the base runner at second, Li Chun-ching, and on third, Wu Cheng-wen. 1 run in, remember, in the top of the 9th. And again, manager Lawson has come out to talk to his pitcher. Looks like he might be asking him if he's tired or if he can go on.
Well, he's probably just telling him about the same thing that the other manager was telling his team a while ago, saying, you know, even if we lose this game, we've done good. We come all the way to the finals, and that's a lot better than 8 other teams here, great ball teams. All of them are good Little League teams, and these 2 are in the finals, so none of them have anything to be ashamed of.
Particularly since they're already the survivors of some 6,000 leagues around the world. There's the wild pitch again. 1 more run is in. When he throws his best pitch, it's much likely that the catcher won't be able to hold on to it.
That ball bounced in front of the plate.
Here's the way it happened again, getting by the catcher. Poor little Basemore, who's really done his best today, but he must be.
He gets right in front of that plate. I'll say one thing for him. He tries to block the plate good.
So there's 2 runs in, nobody out.
The only thing he does wrong there, Jim, he ought to face the catcher and the runner too. He's sitting there with his back to the runner.
1 ball and no strikes to the batter, Li Chui-ming, remember. That's strike.
Foul ball.
That was foul, but he was covering, he wasn't quite sure. Now McLennan walking over towards the dugout. Has he had it? I think Lloyd McLennan may have been hiding a few tears when he took that hat off and put it in front of his face. That's it. You're seeing a little real agony of defeat right there. Lloyd McLennan pitched the ball game of his life up to the 9th inning, and now it's all falling apart on him. It's just all gone.
Well, that's what I was talking about. When you're 12 years old and you're in a World Series already, it's just pretty hard to, it'll be hard to take. I remember one year when the Pittsburgh Pirates beat us, when that ball hit Tony Kubek in the throat, I felt just like he does right now. And right after that game, I was about 30 years old then, and I was crying, so he doesn't have anything to be ashamed of.
Boy, he certainly doesn't. And to stand out there now and just see it all dissolving under your feet, and with the ultimate frustration of knowing that your poor little catcher just can't hang on to the ball. Remember, his catcher weighs 66 pounds and has been playing for some 2.5 hours. As you said, this is kind of a tough situation for Little League, Mickey, in that these youngsters just aren't supposed to play this long.
Oh, I know.
But the game goes on and on. What are you going to do? It may well have been that this could have been the day it should have ended up in a tie. We're going to have a new pitcher. Gerald Steele is going to come in from right field to pitch for Gary, Indiana, and we'll be back to see what happens in a minute. Well, after McLennan left the ball game, things really came apart at the seams here in Williamsport, unfortunately. It was 5-3 when we left you, but there's been a parade of runs since then. And here's what we've been seeing all day long. The ball getting away from Ralph Basemore and another run coming in. Mickey, at this point, you almost feel like they could say, okay, fellas, we had a good long afternoon, we battled hard, and that's it. There goes another hit.
Nothing to do about it.
Here comes another run. Score now, 7-3. It's difficult to see how in the world they're ever going to get him out. Well, that's going to be at least 1 and maybe 2. It's going to be 2 and it could be 3. 2 are already in. Here's the throw. It's 2 in. with 6 runs now in the top of the ninth. The score 9-3 in what was one of the tensest, most exciting baseball games of any kind. It's been a long time, and now it's just come apart at the seams. Well, you won't get out that way. A hard base hit to left brings in another run. And the hitter goes down to second base. 7 runs in. It's 10-3. A long one, but it's to the center fielder, and he hauls it in. Damon Ware making the catch, and the runner tagging up it from third. The other runner going down to third. 8 runs in. It's 11-3. And the drag bunt, pretty good. And the play at the plate, no good. Fielder's choice, another run scoring. 9 runs in, it's 12-3. And then finally they got them out. We have now moved to the bottom of the 9th inning, and amazingly, in this real tight ball game, suddenly China's leading 12-3.
Well, it was a great ball game for 8 innings anyway, Jim.
Yes, it was. And in the bottom of the 9th, there's already 1 man out. Let's go back to the plate. And Damon Ware, the scheduled hitter, is being walked to the dugout by umpire Frank Rizzo. Now, we've already had 1 hitter, a pinch hitter. Little Squeaky Hayes came in and struck out. So there's already 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th inning of this extra inning game. China, of course, leading by 12-3, and there's the man who will be the winning pitcher. Su Chin Mu throwing a strike to Damon Ware. No balls, 1 strike, 1 out. 2 more outs, and it's all over. A little thank you gesture to the umpire. Be a long ride back to Taiwan, but it'll sure be a happy one. Little nibbler. And he's out. 1 more out, and it's done. Scheduled hitter is Larry Reynolds. Pinch hitter coming in is Keith Tillman. And that's a ball. Keith Tillman, this new player, I believe is the only fellow on the team who wasn't born around Gary. He's from Chicago originally. 1-0 count to him. You're going to see a scene of celebration here very shortly. 1-1. One and 2, and it suddenly begins to pour rain. Almost out of nowhere. It's really coming down. And that ball is foul. It's not quite over. It's still a ball and 2 strikes. It'll be a heck of a time to have to stop play. You know they're going to try to finish pitching to this batter. 2 men out.
That's the reason he's trying to pitch so fast. They saw that rain coming back there.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it. Nationalist China has won the Little League World Series by a score of 12-3 in 3 extra innings.
They don't want to give up that baseball.
No, they sure don't.
That little catcher's keeping that ball, isn't he?
Holding on to it very tight. And now here they go over to commiserate with the young fellas from Gary, Indiana, whom they defeated. A tough, tough moment for them. The ball game is over. The final score again, Taiwan 12 and Gary 3.